Okay guys, so we're in the interior of the A180 SE line, and I thought that I would do this review video to go with the blog post just to show you some of the features in a better light, so to speak. So first things first, please excuse the fact that I've already made this car on my own pretty much. I've had the car for 3 weeks now, and because of the weather I haven't yet been able to do this video until today. So today we're going to do the speed tests, kind of show you how powerful the car is in different configurations, because you can configure this car to pretty much any configuration you want when it comes to driving style, engine, power, things like that. And yeah, so I'll start off with the cockpit area. As you can see, this one actually has Apple Carplay, something that I wish my 2015 Mercedes B-Class AMG line had, but it doesn't have, which really annoys me. So I'm glad Mercedes have finally put that on their cars. I'm not too sure how long that's been in for. The other Mercedes hire car that I had that was a 17 plate also had Apple CarPlay, so I'm guessing it's probably been in, you know, around sort of 2017, maybe 2016, but it's definitely not on the 65 plate cars, because that's what my B-Class is. But it's got the same clean Mercedes interior, simple, just everything's where you want it to be. You know, you've got your aircon and things down there. If you have the dual climate, these buttons kind of get moved up, and these here become the temperature. The temperature sort of gauges and things. And then I've got to try and remember the setup from the B-Class. If I remember the setup rightly, these two are for your heated seats. One of these would normally be something to do with 4MATIC as well. I think I've got on the B-Class, because one of them's to do with the 4MATIC. I can't remember all the buttons, but yeah. Navigation on this one, I believe, is based off of Apple CarPlay, because it doesn't have the SD card, but you can get the SD cards for them. And just literally like the B-Class, you've got a really nice, easy to use command system. All the buttons here, for example, vehicle settings. I'll just turn that on. Perfect, it comes straight up into it. This is brilliant. I was going to actually show you guys this a bit later on, but I better show you it now because it's on there. So this is Dynamic Select, and this is how you configure your car. Basically, depending on what mode you have it in, this button here corresponds with it. So at the moment it's in Eco engine with whatever, but it will tell you whether you've got it in individual, things like that. So if we return to Dynamic Select, this is how you configure it. So at the moment, individual configuration, I've got Eco engine, Sport steering, Stop Start switched on, and Comfort aircon. If you want to go to change that, for example, you press the Dynamic Select button. So you've got Comfort, which when, and it comes up on there as well as there actually, and when the car is in comfort mode, it's really nice, and it's nice to drive, it's nice and responsive, but it's still calm and collected at the same time. It's not a complete monster. And I suppose the thing that I like about Mercedes and what they've done is that comfort mode seems to be the automatic choice for Mercedes. So when the car's been off overnight and you turn it back on, it's on comfort mode in the morning. You have to press Dynamic Select if you want it on individual, Eco or Sport. The next one in the list is, of course, Sport. Now, you will see this on the speed test that we do later. Sport mode is a monster. It is so much quicker, so much more responsive than the B-Class Sport mode. Obviously the B-Class doesn't have this Dynamic Select, it just has Sport, Eco and Manual. And the one thing that I like about Dynamic Select as well is you still have the paddle shifters, so you can still switch the car into manual mode, but you can switch into manual mode while you've got the Dynamic Select set up, which literally means you can drive it as a manual car in any of the configurations. It's something you can't do on the B-Class, because if you've got it in Sport on the B-Class, it just flips to manual mode automatically the moment you press the paddle shift, and it's a nightmare. But I believe Dynamic Select is on all cars 2017 upwards, potentially 2016, but it's definitely 2017 upwards, so the newer models have Dynamic Select, and it is amazing. So the next thing that I will talk about is, go to the next one, I believe it, yeah, so individual, which, there you go, you can adapt it if you really wish to, but that is what I have it on at the moment. I have it on Eco Engine, Sport, Steering, purely because I wanted to show what, none of the other configurations have this automatic this setup, so I wanted to show it just for people who did want a calm collected engine with Sport steering and things like that, what that does. And then the next configuration is Eco. Now, I hate Eco with a passion, okay, and I will explain why I hate Eco, and you will see it in the speed test. I feel, for someone like me who likes responsiveness, likes, you know, likes the car to be quick at interpreting what I want it to do, Eco is too laggy for me, which is why I'm glad that Mercedes put the car into comfort mode and not Eco mode when the car is first started up in the morning or after a long break, etc, etc. So, you know, that is one thing for me that is a massive plus with Mercedes, but the Eco mode, I don't know what it's like on other engines, but on this particular one, which is the A180, I don't like it. I don't know what the A160 or the A200, etc, etc are like, but that's my opinion of the A180. So, yeah, I mean, in terms of the rest of this setup here, you control it with the multifunctional steering wheel, and I need to turn it on again, don't I? And you can get things like, you can get everything up here, so you can get assist, you've got the assistance graphic, ESP, brake assist, attention assist, all as standard, by the way. You even have a reversing camera as standard as well, and the reversing camera on this is just as brilliant as the one on the B-Class. It's the exact same, but this one never gets dirty because it actually pops out, and when you pull it back into drive, or out of reverse or wherever, the camera goes back in to its little pod in the boot lid, so it's not showing out all the time like the B-Class one does. You also have your navigation on there as well. You've got audio, so you can change your songs using your steering wheel. That's just a telephone. And then you also have tyre pressure still as standard as well, which is, I love that. And then you have Assist Plus, which is effectively your service, so that tells you when your service is. You still have SOS, your alarm up here, your light controls. The one thing I really don't like that Mercedes seem to have gotten rid of, if you have seen the B-Class review, you will know that there is a sunglasses holder right here, and I love my sunglasses holder, but the new Mercedes-Benz do not have a sunglasses holder as standard. In fact, I don't know if they have one at all. I'm going to have to look on the configurations to see if they do have one. But if they don't, hopefully it's something Mercedes can, like, make for you specially. I don't know. I will have to ask them next month at London Motor Show. But, yes, that's pretty much it. I mean, storage-wise, this car's just like the B-Class. It has so much storage. You've got your pockets, there, which, like I said before, I'm so sorry, but I have personalised it a bit. You've still got, I mean, this is actually smaller than the B-Class's glove box compartment, but it's still quite big. And the only thing I don't, with the seats on the A-Class A180 SE, they don't have under seat storage like the B-Class does. However, that is because, and excuse my legs, they have this instead, which is a bit of a, if you've got long legs basically, or you just want to chill, you've got an extendable leg area. You also have the ability with the cup holders. They've given two things here, so if you want to put your cards or whatever for drive-throughs and things in, you can. And then we've also got the cubby storage here with the two USB pods. ports even, so you can charge your devices there, and then this one's for Apple Carplay or Android, the Android equivalent. In terms of the car for the wheelchair, I obviously have the Quickie Argon 2 at the moment. I am hoping to change my current wheelchair later this year. So it splits into it doesn't completely fit in the boot. The wheels do have to go on the back seat in the boot if it goes in the boot, but we have managed to get the wheels in the boot a few times, but it's not great when it's muddy. And when I'm on my own, I can easily fit the chair in to the front of the car. In fact, like I've said on the blog post, this car was one car that I didn't look at first. I went straight to the B-Class when I started looking at Mercedes-Benz as a car to drive, because I'd heard so much about it. And loads of people say, oh, well, you're just, you're loyal to the brand. And I think having the B-Class, like the B180, has made me loyal to the brand, but the reason why is because they have made such an easy car to drive with hand controls. All of them are so easy to drive, and it's all down to this. Okay guys, so I am really sorry. Basically, I'm having to do this on my iPhone now because the camera batteries have either died or the camera card is saying that it's now full. But basically, the reason that I have such a massive I'm such a loyal customer to Mercedes-Benz is because they've made a car that is so easy to drive on hand controls, and all of their cars have this feature, as far as I'm aware, apart from some of the AMGs, in that the automatic gear stick is here. It makes life so much easier because it means that everything is on the left hand side, including your cruise control for your limiter, the screen washer, indicator, main beams, etc, etc. Obviously, we have the automatic headlights down here as well. This is the halogen bulbs, so these aren't the xenon with the intelligent light system like what I have on the B-Class AMG. But anyhow, they are, it's still the perfect car to drive. I mean, especially when your hand controls are on the right hand side, you need to be able to use screen wash and other things safely whilst driving, and you can't do that if your screen wash is on the right hand side of the car. The other thing that I love about this setup as well is that this cubby hole here would have been where the gear stick is, and that means that it is so much easier to put the wheelchair on the front seat if you are on your own and drag it through the car. I cannot tell you how much easier that makes life for me, which is why when I first went to Mercedes-Benz, it was nothing to do with the brand, it was all to do with because I'd heard that they were actually really easy cars to drive. So one of the other things that I've put it in the blog post, but I'm going to say it again, I will admit I never looked at the A-Class as a car for me until I had this as a hire car. Literally, the moment this came, I was just like, oh my god, it fits my chair, I can drive it. Brett might not be happy with all the leg room because it doesn't have as much leg room, and for a 6-foot person you probably couldn't drive it, could you?
As a passenger with the front seat all the way back, yes, plenty of leg room, but as a driver, no.
That's the verdict from Brett. But for someone like me, when you're on your own or whatever, it's brilliant. The only thing I would say, and I'm going to show you what 3 weeks worth of having a car does, and I'm really sorry Europe car, and I'm really sorry Mercedes-Benz, I promise this car is going in for a full valet before it gets back. Do not get the cream headlining. Do not get the cream. Just don't get the cream interior. This is what 3 weeks worth of bad weather, mud, and God knows what else do to it. At least with the black interior and the darker colours, you can hide some of that, so you won't have to clean the car as often. But that is the only thing I would say to wheelchair users, and anyone with kids actually. Unless you want a really messy car, it's not a good idea. On the subject of kids actually, the one thing I will also say to people, this car in particular has something the B-Class doesn't, and that is extremely easy to reach ISOFIX points. For the first time ever, I managed to get that car seat into the back seat of a car on my own in about 2 minutes. Less than that actually, because it's the clips are there, like it tells you, it literally, you can just go straight in. They're protected by plastic. You're not worrying about scraping the leather like you're on the B-Class, where they're hidden under the seat, which is just a nightmare. Hopefully that's something that has come across out on all the Mercedes, but I have actually started noticing that now, that they do have easier to locate things. But if you're wondering what that car seat is that we actually have, and excuse the fact I've had to put my camera bag and wheels there for now, that is the Cybex Solution Q. I think it's the Q-Fix. So the Solution and the Palace both fit in this car if you're looking at Cybex car seats, which is just an absolute bonus. But yeah, that's the review of the A-Class. Hopefully you like this video. Hopefully you like the blog post that is going with it. And I will see you all soon for whenever I do another car review. I am going to be doing a GLA review as well. Unfortunately, I won't have a video for that one because the GLA I'm reviewing is based on when I was basically learning to drive with the hand controls. So my drivers, basically the way I put it to people is that if you do not count hire cars, the only cars I have driven on hand controls are Mercedes-Benz, which probably explains a lot about my loyalty to them, because my driving instructor, he was part of Mercedes-Benz Academy. He still does a lot of work for Mercedes-Benz out at Brooklyn, but he has a GLA 200 AMG line 4MATIC. I think it's a 200.
220, isn't it?
I thought it was a 200. Is it 200 or 220?
220.
Ah. Okay, Brett says it's 220. I thought it was a 200 for some weird reason. And then obviously my one is a B180 AMG line. The only cars that I've really been able to compare them with hire car is Peugeot. Don't ever drive a Peugeot on hand controls. It is not a good idea. Okay, guys. So first of all, I'm going to do the first speed test. So the first speed test is going to be on the dynamic. So on the dynamic, I'm going to go to the first option. I'm going to select comfort. Comfort is the option that the car basically goes into automatically. If you want to use like sport mode, individual, things like that, you literally have to set up the car before you go. It does remember it if you're just on like a short, like 1 hour break or something from driving, but anything longer than that you tend to have to reset the car before you drive off. So yeah. Okay, here we go in comfort mode. See what I mean? Like, she is extremely responsive and very quick off the mark. She's definitely one of the more responsive cars that I've driven. She's certainly more responsive than the B-Class, and you'll see just how responsive she is next in the sport mode configuration. Okay, so next up is sport mode. So once again, I'm going to press dynamic select, and she's going to go switch to sport. And sport compared to comfort is absolutely mad, as I will demonstrate to you. So she seems okay at the moment. That is pretty much exactly what this car can do. That is absolutely mad. I mean, sport mode is just literally responsive when you need it and calm and collected when you, like, literally. I mean, comfort's calm and collected when you need it, but still responsive, but sport mode is just absolutely crazy. So, next up, I believe, is individual. So, individual settings for this, you can set it up exactly how you want it. So you can set up the, just let me go back to it actually. You can set up the car to be exactly how you want it. So, on the individual configuration, I've got this as an eco engine with sport steering with the aircon on comfort and stop start turned on. This is probably the only way you're going to get eco engine with sports steering. However, you are probably also going to realise just how laggy this engine is. You'll realise it even more when we put it back in eco. And this is why I refuse to drive the car in eco mode unless I desperately need to. See, she's quite, this is me going just as far down as like I would, I did with the Comfort and Sport, but she's a lot more, she's calmer, that's for sure. She's she's more calm, more collected, with the settings that I have the car on. So we're going to try the car in eco mode now. So eco mode is basically everything's eco. There's no sort of like sport style thing or anything on it. So there's no sport steering this time like there was on the individual. Come on. I'm literally going as full down as what I do, like what I've done with the individual, the Comfort and everything, but you can definitely see the difference that this car has in eco. And if you're like me and you like responsiveness and you like speed and you like to feel a bit more sporty, let's just say, because at the end of the day, you know, Mercedes is a sports, you know, it's a sport thing, simple as that. That's, yeah, it's in the sport category. At the end of the day, I think most people will probably prefer Comfort or Sport, and I quite like the fact that Mercedes actually put Comfort as the car's standard setting as opposed to Eco. I think Eco's too laggy. It's my personal opinion, but yeah. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for reading the blog post. If you have any questions about the car as well, do let me know because I will try and answer them. But yeah, see you all next time.